Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Cycle in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agumofwebe. A town hall meeting aimed at getting input of Nigerians on the 2024 budget is underway today in Abuja. This is following presentation of the budget estimate by President Bola Tinubu before the joint session of the National Assembly last Wednesday. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, had last week announced that the legislature would convene the town hall meeting to afford citizens the opportunity of participating in the consideration and subsequent passage of the national budget. The federal government has released the sum of 135 billion naira, 884,677 naira to Kobo as reimbursement to states and the Federal Capital Territory FCT after the second independent assessment of results achieved under the Nigeria COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus, a World Bank-assisted performance for results program. National coordinator of NG Cares program, Abdulkarim Obaje, who announced the disbursement in Abuja, said the funds were disbursed based on the results achieved by the states and FCT in their efforts at supporting poor and vulnerable Nigerians under the NG Cares program. House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has demanded the chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, appear before questioning over the alleged recovery of COVID-19 intervention funds released to all federal health institutions across the country. Chairman of PAC, Bamidele Salam, made the demand after the investigative hearing into the utilization of multi-billion naira approved for the implementation of various projects in various health institutions. The PAC chairman frowned at the level of disregard for extant financial regulations as well as Public Procurement Act, which stipulates deductible taxes from contracts awarded by public institutions. Troops of Operation Desert Sanity in Maiduguri, Borno State, have arrested 3 soldiers for allegedly stealing ammunition. They were arrested during a covert operation at the motor parks along Njintimo Road in Maiduguri, the state capital. According to reports, 2 of the soldiers were heading to Makurdi while one was traveling to Abuja. One of the soldiers was said to have concealed the ammunition in a bag of rice. Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Buba Edward, could not be reached for comment as calls to his lines were not answered. He had also yet to respond to a message sent to him on the matter. Thousands of temporary teachers under Jigawa State government have embarked on a peaceful protest and disrupted the aptitude test organized by the State Universal Basic Education Board, BEB, for the recruitment of 6,000 teachers. Chairman of the board, Haruna Musa, reportedly escaped death in one of the centers at Federal University of Dutse. The candidates had protested over alleged plan by some officials to hijack the recruitment process against Governor Umar Namadi's instruction for a transparent process. Speaking to newsmen on behalf of the aggrieved JTeach candidates, Abbas Jara said 4,500 of them were recruited last 2 years and in the process underwent 5 different aptitude tests and 3 verification exercises. According to him, subjecting them to another round of tests with freshers raises suspicion that the organizers of the test have a hidden agenda. You're watching Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, Mount Marapi, 11 hikers killed as volcano erupts in Indonesia. The news continues shortly with details of these and other stories right after this short break. Please don't go away. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On a foreign scene, the United States has applauded President Bola Tinubu's administration for taking bold steps at bolstering the economy and ensure sustainable growth and development. The Charge d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, David Green, acknowledged the federal government's efforts. He said U.S. investors were delighted by the economic agenda of the current administration, recalling President Tinubu's visits to New York during the last United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, which attracted officials of the Commerce of Cooperation of the U.S. Trade and Investment. The envoy said although the federal government was putting measures in place to stabilize the economy, more should be done to create an environment that would attract investors to the country. On a sad note, 11 hikers have been found dead near the crater of Indonesia's Merapi volcano after it erupted over the weekend. 3 people were rescued on Monday. The search for 12 others missing has been suspended due to a small eruption. There were 75 hikers in the area at the time of the eruption, but most were safely evacuated. Mount Merapi, one of Indonesia's 127 active volcanoes, spewed ash as high as 3 kilometers into the air. On Sunday, authorities have imposed the second highest alert level and prohibited residents from going within 3 kilometers of the crater. The 3 people rescued who were also found near the crater were weak and had some burns, said Abdul Malik, ahead of the Pandak Search and Rescue Agency. 49 climbers were evacuated from the area earlier on Monday, many of whom also suffered burns. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake struck just south of Istanbul, Turkey on Monday, rattling parts of the country's largest city, but causing no immediate injuries or damage. The earthquake's epicenter was in the Marmara Sea's Gemlik Bay, which lies about 60 kilometers south of Istanbul, near the city of Bursa, according to the FAD Emergency Service. Turkey's most populated city is situated near the North Anatolian Fault, one of the most active in the world. 6 Thai hostages kidnapped and held for weeks in the Gaza Strip by Hamas will arrive back in the kingdom on Monday. Tens of thousands of Thais were working in Israel, mostly in the agricultural sector, when Palestinian militants poured over the border on October 7, killing 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and kidnapping roughly 240, according to Israeli authorities. At least 32 Thais were abducted by Hamas, with Bangkok's foreign ministry and Thai Muslim groups working to negotiate their release. On Monday, 6 are expected to land at the capital's Suvarnabhumi airport following weeks in captivity. Since their release, the group has been recuperating at a hospital in Israel as authorities have made preparations to fly them home. In business, the federal government says it will soon commence disbursement of funds under its presidential palliative program targeted at alleviating the impacts of the fuel subsidy removal. In a statement by the Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka Anite, says the programs consisted of the Presidential Conditional Grant Program and the Presidential Palliative Loan Program. For the Presidential Palliative Loan Program, it says the federal government would disburse 75 billion naira to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises across various sectors and 75 billion naira specifically to manufacturers. The loan would be administered to the beneficiaries at a single-digit interest rate of 9% per annum. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has granted taxpayers and businesses full waiver on accumulated penalties and interest for outstanding tax liabilities. Chairman of the service, Zak Adedeji, disclosed this in a press release issued during the weekend and signed by his special advisor on media, Dare Adekombi, noting that the waiver of interest is subject to the full settlement of outstanding principal on or before the 31st of December 2023. The FIRS chairman acknowledged that the concession also is in line with the commitment of President Bola Tinubu's economic agenda to support businesses to thrive, reiterating that the full penalty and interest shall be reinstated after the expiration of this one-off concession window. Lagos State government has set the target of reducing methane emissions in the state by 15% to 20% in 2030 and 45% in 2035. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, disclosed this during the local Climate Action Summit, a side conference organized by the Sub-National Climate Action Leaders Exchange, SCALE, at the ongoing 28th session of the Conference of Parties, otherwise called COP28, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. He said Lagos independently invested personal funds to double its efforts in material waste recovery, resulting in a waste processing capacity below the specified benchmark. The governor noted that there is an emphasis on the necessity of Lagos to establish infrastructure capable of processing 6,000 to 8,000 metric tons of public waste daily to mitigate organic methane emissions. Crooked attempts by drug syndicates to export illicit substances, including various quantities of methamphetamine and opioids concealed in hems of new jeans, trousers, dolls, buttons, local soap and things of beverage to Europe, United Arab Emirates, and Asia have been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at some courier firms in Lagos. This was made known by the Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, and made available to journalists in Abuja. A shipment of another illicit substance coming from Florida, USA, was equally intercepted at the courier firm, while the recipient, Daniel Ogi, was tracked by the agency officers and arrested at 5 Akim Shitu Street, Ajao Estate, Lagos, on Friday, 24th November 2023. A team of NDLEA operatives also intercepted a vehicle at Oyingbo area of Lagos State and recovered 108 kgs of cannabis from it, while 675 kilograms of the same substance were recovered from the store of a wanted dealer, Wahab Olota, at Adedoja area of Mushin in Lagos. Let's talk some sport now. Ahead of the second leg of the final round of the 2024 Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Cape Verde, the Nigerian delegation of players, coaches, and officials have landed in Praia. The team's arrival in Cape Verde was confirmed on the Super Falcons' official X handle on Sunday. The nighttime African champions showed their superiority as they edged closer to the WAFCON scheduled to be held in Morocco next year. The return leg is scheduled for the 15,000 capacity artificial turfed Estadio Nacional de Cabo Verde in Praia on Tuesday. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyag Mofwe. Thank you so very much for watching. Do have a great day.